So these are various types of anti-malwares we have. So first one is signature based. Signature based is nothing but all the known malware samples related behavior will be existing in the software, existing in the antivirus solution. We call them as signatures. Each signature is the behavior of one malware. Like that, we'll be having lakhs of signatures, and day by day they will try to update the signatures. So your system will be having the behaviors of new virus or new malwares. Okay. And second one is heuristic based. So heuristic is not based on the virus behavior or signature. It is based on some of the rules. Like if you see this Windows operating system, any application is able to get some configuration details from the system files, but it will not be able to delete any of the system files. That is a rule, right? Any application will be able to access some configuration of the system to run or execute, but it will not be able to delete it. So such kind of rules we can form, and those can be enforced in our operating system, so that if any application is infected and if it is trying to do some harm to your system, immediately these heuristic rules will come into the picture, and it will say, no, this operation is not permitted, right? This cannot be performed by this application. It will give you the alert and it will stop that or block that malicious operation. So is my voice not audible? Can anyone else confirm? Hello? Okay. Maybe network issue at your end. It is audible for others, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So heuristic is like these are only the rules, but not about the behaviors. So signature is nothing but every virus related behavior will be captured, and those will be available in the form of some database in your system, and it will be matching all the behaviors whatever is getting running inside your system, and it will try to detect. Coming to heuristics, this is only some kind of rules we will write based on what is allowed in the system, what are not allowed in the system, right? So to avoid this 0-day malware and all, rather than the signature based, heuristic will help us a lot. That's why if you see, so the signature of malware is calculated based on behavior. So let us say whenever a virus is detected or vulnerability is detected, so there will be some exploit on the vulnerability. Exploit is nothing but, okay, through this vulnerability I can enter into the system and I can perform these operations. So let us say we in Windows system at least, we'll be having something called registries, where we can configure all the settings of every application as well as all entire system. Okay, so now whatever the virus or any malware entered into our system, it will try to modify some of the registries, and it will try to delete some of the registries, and it will try to create its own registries. Okay, so those kind of changes we call it as behavior. Every virus will be having its own kind of behavior or the set of operations what it will do. Based on that, they will create a pattern what it will do and all. That we call it as a signature. So the pattern of virus, what it is doing inside your system. Is it deleting anything? Is it creating anything? Is it modifying anything? So all those kind of such operations are captured, and we call it as a behavior of the virus. So that we will be calling it as a signature. Okay. So like that, the behavior of all the known malware are captured and are available with the those are available with the antiviruses, sir. So coming to heuristics, nowadays you can see, not nowadays, before some 2 years they started. All antivirus people, they have started a combination of both signature as well as heuristic. So signature is only for the known virus or known malware, Heuristic is for the 0-day vulnerabilities. So signature is like already existing things, whatever is trying to infect your system, it will try to detect through the signature. And if the infection is not covered under the signatures, then heuristics will try to detect that and it will block that operation, and the antivirus will give you, this is the malicious operation going on, it is blocked. Okay, these are two major types of anti-malware solutions we have, and many of the antivirus vendors are trying to club both the things together, and they are giving us the hybrid approach, so that our system will be secure in the best possible way. So these are the mitigations to 0-day malware. First one is application whitelisting. So application whitelisting, we can say like, I want only these applications to run because these are the known and trusted applications. So we have so many application whitelisting softwares available in the market. Even we have our own whitelisting software at CDAC. So that also, if you want that also, you can download and utilize. So those are all heuristic based. So our CDAC product is based on the heuristics, and application softwares also will be supporting what are applications to be allowed inside your system, whether the updates to that software also is required or not. Such kind of configuration you can do as per your requirement. And then heuristic anti-malware solutions. While selecting some antivirus, look for the types of antivirus they are giving, whether they are giving only signature based or combination of heuristics also. It is always better to go with the combination so that we can avoid both known as well as unknown vulnerabilities or malware. And update your browser software and antivirus software regularly, because say you have updated at afternoon 12 o'clock. Maybe around 3 o'clock a 0-day is identified, and tomorrow you are not updating it. What will happen? Tomorrow there is a chance to the attacker that he can compromise your system on that 0-day. Your antivirus will not be able to detect it. And even antivirus has to analyze that 0-day vulnerability. They have to release the update. Your system has to get updated with that. It will take almost some 1 week to 10 days or more than that only. So within this time period, what will happen? Your system is vulnerable to that 0-day attack. So always try to use heuristic based solutions also, and try to keep all the things updated. And do not visit reported attack websites. So if you are clicking on some spam links and all, if that website is already known as a compromised one, what will happen? Google will give us the alert, or your antivirus, whatever is installed in your system, that will also give you the alert saying that this is a reported attack website. It is better not to visit this website. It will give you that alert, and it will block the web page. If you still want to visit, you can disable that particular software and you can go ahead, right? So in your web browser, you will be having some options like report attack website and all. If you tick that, automatically Google will give you the Google or somebody else. Okay, from the browser it will be taken care. So browser will report you this is a attack website. So if you untick that, it will not verify that attack websites and all. Whatever request you are giving, it will try to resolve it. Okay, by default all those features are enabled in our browser. If you want, you can disable it. So mitigations to malware, there are so many various levels of mitigations we can do. We can do it at network level and perimeter level, or at the system level. So system level is our antivirus, and network level we have this IDS, IPS, all these kind of mitigation softwares. So this IDS, IPS, all these softwares also sometimes may not work. Why? Because we are browsing a website, so that will be going on a particular service, HTTP or HTTPS. So here I have a firewall. So firewall, what it can stop, whatever services you are allowing, it will try to allow only that service. Remaining all other services will be blocked at the firewall level. Behind the firewall, we have either our system or website or database, whatever we are hosting in the public, all those can be kept. Okay. So now if it is HTTP or HTTPS, what will happen? Firewall will not detect it or it will not stop it. Why? Because HTTP and HTTPS are allowed. It will simply allow that. Now inside that HTTP request, HTTP is nothing but our web browsing. You are browsing or requesting for some service. While sending the request, you are sending some malware. What will happen now? Because it is on port HTTP or HTTPS, it will not block the firewall, will not block that. It will go to your web application or web server and it will try to infect your website. Because of this reason, the website will get hacked or compromised. Okay, who will be sending the malicious payloads to this website? Attackers, right? So with respect to client, what will happen? Now if your system or application or web browser is compromised, if you are browsing something, let us say irctc.co.in or onlinesba.com and all. So you are browsing online SBA from this place, web browser, actual online SBA server is this thing. Now because of your system is compromised, attacker has changed the network configuration saying that this system should use my proxy. So here proxy is nothing but attackers controlled system. Now in between your browser, that means your system and the actual server, attacker is keeping all your requests. He can see what data you are sending. He can see what URL you are visiting. All those things he can see. He can decide whether to send the request to the original server or not. And after receiving the response also, he can see whether to send this response to the client or not. Even he can modify something in between and he can send to the server. Right? So like that we have these web proxies and all. So if your system should be secure first of all, otherwise it is possible to do anything. Okay, I hope yeah. So in addition with that, these are with respect to the hackers, but not with respect to the clients. So just I will go through very briefly. So what hackers will do is like, let us take some matrimonial websites and all, where they will ask you to upload the photos and they will ask you to upload your biodatas and all. So rather than this photos, biodata and all, what if they upload some malicious program or malware program? So it will go and sit in the website. Now it may compromise entire website because of that malicious file, right? So that is possible through all these channels, by including a file locally or by including a file from the remote system or by uploading a malicious file. All these things are possible, right? This is the explanation about those. And one more thing, if your password is very weak, like you are keeping your date of birth or your spouse name, kid's name, your marriage anniversary, kid's birthday, place of birth, or your work organization name, like this, all this data will be available in the social networking websites. So if any attacker wants to target you, he will first browse all the social networking website profiles of you and he will collect all this information and he will try to use this information for hacking your passwords, right? So it is always better to not use any of this information as your password, right? So that it will be very difficult for the attackers to guess your password. Always try to use some strong password other than your personal information or professional information. Some people will simply keep their mobile number, and you will be giving the mobile number in Facebook, Twitter, everywhere you will be giving the mobile number. That is also one of the input for the hackers, right? So these are all just tips how can we avoid these kind of compromises. There are various entry points or channels are there. We need to first of all understand these things. So our ICA will be giving very good awareness on these kind of tips and all. So it will be very helpful for the common citizen to secure their infrastructure like mobiles, their systems, everything, right? So with this, I would like to conclude my session. So if there are any queries, we welcome you. Are there any queries? Yeah. There is a query actually, whether we should wait till stable updates are released or simply update when they release immediately. Sir, actually, if it is a release candidate is nothing but it is not yet fully stable. It is under development kind of thing. So that is not given to all the citizens. That will be hosted on their website. So whoever is interested, they only can update with that release candidate. Otherwise, if you are going ahead with the normal procedure for the update, it will be downloading only the release updates. Sorry, stable updates. Okay, sir. And one more thing. Any good antivirus can stop malware. Sir, there are so many antivirus solutions available in the market. So based on which operating system you are using and what is your browsing pattern and all, you need to see what kind of features they are giving. Some of the antiviruses will be giving you the feature like website monitoring, and some of the antivirus will be giving only signature based. Some of the antivirus will be giving combination of signature as well as heuristic. So like that, according to your requirement, like browsing pattern, which operating system you are using, what is the most probably, for what purpose most probably you will be using the system. Based on all these parameters, you need to see the features of the antivirus system and you need to take a call, sir. And the next question is how to ensure that a particular application is genuine while we download from Play Store. What things we should keep in mind? Maybe the next session is based on this mobile security. There they might be talking about this, sir. Free antivirus better than Windows Defender already available in Windows. Sir, I cannot suggest on these things because if I say one antivirus, that is discriminating the other antiviruses. But every antivirus is having some good features and bad features. Again, we need to analyze all those features and we need to take a call. But with respect to my personal opinion, Windows Defender also can do a good job because it will also be getting frequent updates and it also has some heuristic rules and all. Kaspersky is also having both the things, hybrid. So many of the vendors are giving hybrid things and frequent updates. But only thing is whatever antivirus you are installing, make sure that you are daily updating it or keep the scheduled updates, automatic updates. Automatically it will get updated whenever there is an update. Many of the people what they will do to save the bandwidth and all, whenever there is more data I would like to update, so automatic update cannot be enabled. These kind of restrictions will be there, but it is always better to enable automatic updates so that whenever there is a update released by the vendor, immediately our system will get updated, so we can ensure that more safety. And how can I check my system or mobile is secure at frequent intervals? Uh, Sir, most probably the solutions, whatever we are using like antivirus and all, they will be checking if it is updated. Otherwise, you can, if you are good enough to check what are the system processes or how much resources they are occupying. If you are having knowledge of all those things, then manually you can open this task manager and all. You can check the resources, how much resources are being consumed by each process, whether that process is a genuine one, and is it really required that those many resources and all. So this kind of analysis we need to do in the system, sir. And with respect to mobile, anyway, next session will be discussed on this. With respect to system, if it is manual thing, we need to go for this analysis. Otherwise, we need to trust some of the antivirus systems. One more question. How can I check at every new edition, downloading a new software or application, whether it's clean or infected? Yeah, only thing what we can do is like we need to download the softwares from the genuine vendor's website. That is one level of security rather than downloading from some third-party websites. We can download only from the trusted websites or original vendors. So then we can trust at one level. If the original vendor website itself is compromised, then we cannot do anything, sir. Then for that, what we need to do is like our system should be having a proper antivirus system to detect the maliciousness. So even though that is downloaded in our system, the antivirus will be trying to analyze whether it is a genuine behavior or not. If there is some abnormal behavior is going on with the application, it will try to block the application. Can antivirus solution detect it after getting infected? Sir, one observation is if your system is already infected, what will happen is at the time of installing antivirus, that infection like malware, whatever is available in your system, it will not allow to install the antivirus software. Most probably that is the problem. Malwares will try to disable installing any new softwares or antivirus softwares and all. So you cannot detect it, sir. So only thing is like you can take a backup of your system and format it and then immediately install the antivirus solution. From there onwards it can take care. But if already system is infected, it will not allow to install any antivirus solution. So it is a very typical situation. So you need to take the backup in some proper format. Sorry, appropriately you need to take the backup and then you need to clean up your system. Either reset your system to the factory system like original OEM given OS. In mobile it is very easy. In normal desktop systems it is somewhat typical. So that is a solution I know, sir, but there might be some other solutions also, but I know only that solution, sir. So I think with this, how to recognize or make out original vendor website, even a malicious vendor may also pose like a trusted vendor. You will be knowing about that website from the URL. You need to first of all see whether that URL is having the original characters or some of the like I is replaced with one or exclamatory symbol and S is replaced with some dollar. These kind of things will be there, sir. Original website, most of the vendors are giving HTTPS now. HTTPS is nothing but they have to acquire a certificate saying that they are the original vendor with so and so website name. So there you can analyze whether the website name is correct or not by looking at each and individual character in the website URL, and then you can look at that SSL certificate or HTTPS certificate. So beside the website URL, there will be a lock symbol. If you click on the lock symbol, it will show you the certificate information. To whom this certificate has been given, to which URL the certificate has been given, and who has given the certificate. All these information will be available, sir. So through that only you can trust the vendor's website.